200 years ago.
When dinosaurs roamed there.
No, out, right up.
Okay, Vice President Noble, you're there?
Yep.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna call us to order.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to call to order the meeting of the Santa Fe Public School Board of Education, November 13th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. And I want to note for the record that Vice President Noble is with us via telephone. So with that, we will start with a pledge of allegiance and salute to the New Mexico flag, acknowledgement of tribal land, and then approval of the agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico as the symbol of perfect friendship among the United Cultures. Saludo la bandera del Estado de Nuevo México, la simbología de la amistad perfecta entre culturas unidas. That our Board of Education meeting is taking place on occupied indigenous land. We acknowledge the Tesuque Pueblo lands and other tribal lands on which we stand. We honor these people, past, present, and future. We acknowledge the history and ongoing colonization of where we are sitting right now in New Mexico and in our country. We acknowledge our own place in the story of colonization. Okay, the item D is approval of the agenda. Superintendent, are there any changes to the agenda?
President Abeta, there are no changes.
Okay, changes from the board.
I move approval.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Item 2 is introduction of interpreter.
Para asistencia de traducción en español, la señora Peña te ayudará.
Okay, item 3 is our school showcase, and the first item, A, is our STEM podcasting Milagro Middle School.
Okay. Board President Abeta, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Griffin. Did I get it all? Do I name them all? Board Member Board President Abeta, Vice President Noble, Secretary Dr. Gonzalez, Member Bose, sorry, Member Hefra. Are you ready? Are we good? Okay.
All right.
My name is Diana Padilla, and I'm the Community School Coordinator and the facilitator, or the representative for our Student Council. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then they will continue the presentation. Come on, guys.
Welcome.
Hi, my name's Olivia Longi. I'm Student Council President, 8th grade. We're going to be talking, I forgot. We're going to be talking about our extracurricular activities in our school. For example, Makerspace. It's an art activity and it's amazing for whatever creativity allows you, whatever you can make with your hands, like pottery, clay, sewing, etc.
Hi, my name is Joseph Delora, and I'm the student council treasurer. The reason that I love Milagro is that they have many opportunities like band, guitar, and computer science, and podcasting club, after school clubs. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Coraline Brunson. I'm the president, and I love the extracurricular activities. I do makerspace and podcasting and garden club.
Thank you, students. We have a video to share with you, and you'll be able to see some of them actually working in the makerspace or on the podcasting. So I hope you enjoy our video. Thank you. Our video was done by Ms. Wittenberg, our digital learning coach. Thanks.
Some of my favorite projects was definitely at the start of the year when we made like paper skittles that we sent down the hallway. We're making 3D printed balloon cars, which is like where you put a balloon on the top and you fill it up and then it like blasts the car.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Anything from the board? Board member Heffron.
Yes, I would like to congratulate you. I think that's fantastic. And what subjects do you cover? Can I ask this question on your podcast? What do you guys talk about? I think it's a great idea, by the way. And I love all the other crafts that you're involved in, music, guitar, etc. So yeah.
So in podcasting, we haven't done much yet. We had just set up the recording studio, but we have different sections that we're working on. We have like school news and sports, and we have a mental health section,
Wow.
and I think that's all of them. And we have 2 recording studios in the library.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrific. Yeah.
And I'll just add to that, our students we do partner with our feeder schools, so we will bring elementary school students that will potentially be one of our students so that they can work with our students in the podcasting lab as well as our Cooking with Kids lab.
Is this the first time you've had a podcasting
This is our-
facility, and this year, in other words?
So we started last year and we had a makeshift podcasting, and it just grew into this wonderful, amazing activity that the kids really love. And so now we have an added after-school program. So yeah, we're
Congratulations.
in second year.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Awesome. All right. Vice President Noble, did you have anything?
No, I unfortunately couldn't see the video, but thanks.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, and congratulations on your podcast. That's awesome. Our next school showcase is Salazar Elementary Art Program.
Is this the clicker for the slides? Yes. Thank you. Technology. Hi, my name is Anna Gibson. I'm the art teacher at Salazar Elementary. Thank you, President Abeta and board members. Thank you to Dr. Griffin for creating this space for me to share a little bit about our program and our wonderful artists. At Salazar Elementary, we use the pedagogical model of TAB, Teaching for Artistic Behavior. The core principles are, what do artists really do? The child is the artist, and this classroom is their studio. That really creates a lot of empowerment, right? A lot of agency. We have centers all around the studio space that the children self-select from. Some students at work here, you see some face painting, sculpture, knitting, crocheting, wood burning, 3D pen, collage. And the cool thing about those images is that was all in one class. That was all happening at the same moment. Those kids had chosen what they wanted to learn and were doing it with agency. We always keep a slideshow up, a slide for each class of the power standards for that quarter and our proficiency scale on the wall. And we talk about it. Miss Anna, I think this project meets that standard, or I think I'm at a 3 now. And so those are ongoing conversations weaving in SBG to TAB. The model starts with a short mini lesson. It's an emergent lesson that just takes a few minutes because we want those beginning artists to have their studio time. They learn a technique, a material, a tool. They create a planning page. Ideation is really strong at our school. Creative thinking and problem solving, very strong. They use through their planning pages, they use their language, the academic language. They read it, they write it, and they speak it. You can see some examples of senders. They go themselves, they get their materials out, they know how to use them, they create their project, they put them away. When they finish their project, they do a variety of artist statements that are scaffolded, pre-K circles images, while 6th graders are defending the standards that they've met with that project and telling me why. A few weeks before the end of the quarter, I have one-on-one conferences with the students, and we confer and come to consensus about their grades. It's no longer, Miss Anna, what are you giving me for art? It's like, this is what I think I did. And students are very honest, a little hard on themselves, but we come to consensus, and when they get those report cards, they know what they've learned and where they can improve. Quick example from a show, this is from 2018. The theme was freedom. What does it look like to have it or to not have it? Students really did a variety of amazing things. I think that it's pretty powerful. When you give them the opportunities and the freedom, the depth of their expression is fairly profound. This I'm just throwing in because I often am sort of stepping left of center or out of the box, and I have had amazing, amazing administrative support to do that, and it does matter. We also are in our 4th year of piloting an advanced art program at the elementary level. These kids work hard, they do homework, they do research. These examples are 4th, 5th, and 6th graders who said, we want to learn how to draw eyes better. Okay. We participate in a lot of community events. The Santa Fe Art Recycle Show is a big one. The group on the left created that fountain out of one-use water bottles. They won Best Environmental Message in the entire show. The 3 models on the right each represent a team of fashion designers. Those outfits walk the runway. We have students doing small business. We have students at Indian Market. They extend their learning. I'm only one person and I know what I know, but we bring in outside artists. We visit galleries. We collaborate with people like my DLC to create this project that the students came up with, where they learned how to etch and cut panels to create this movable sculpture, which was featured in the NMPED building. And for the opening, the Secretary of Education and the entire cabinet came down. They talked to these kids, they interacted with them. That's the kind of learning experience that a child will remember for the rest of their life. I hope you've all read the proclamation. I'm a big fan, obviously. I think that it's really important that this is the year of arts education. Every one of those points in the proclamation is research-based. They're not just stuff that they made up, but there's research behind each of them. And so I leave you with the question is, how can Santa Fe Public Schools be a leader in rolling out this advanced programming for kids in the arts? Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a little flyer. I was just interviewed for a national podcast about this, our school and our program. And so if it's okay, I'd like to just give this to you. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Anything from the board? Board Member Heffron.
Yes, once again, congratulations. If you could only be a little more enthusiastic, I mean, yeah. You're so terrific with the students, and you know what I like about this is the ability that the Santa Fe students now have to create a STEAM world in their classrooms, because you're using math and science as well as the arts in order to teach these students in the 5th grade, et cetera, over at Salazar. And I really appreciate it. And congratulations on a great job you guys are doing. Thanks. It's a bellwether for other schools to follow around the nation. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is public forum.
Board President Abeyta, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Griffin, we have 2 in-house speakers that would like to address the board, and then we have 1 email that would like to. So I'll read the email after the fact. But with that, let me go ahead and let's go over the Board of Education Public Forum ground rules. Public forum includes online and/or virtual participation as needed, as well as in-person comments when the board holds in-person meetings. Please listen and speak with respect. No uncivil conduct will be permitted. Please do not discuss any specific student who is not your own. No sharing of time. Self-monitor and observe the 3-minute time limit. You will receive a 30-second warning when your time is almost up. Public commentary and dialogue are allowed only during the public forum, not throughout the meeting. Please search for answers on common ground. You may speak on any topic, whether it is on the agenda or not. Your input will be taken into consideration. Please be advised that the board may discuss your issue during the meeting, but by law, the board cannot take action on items that are not on the agenda. Please do not discuss employee matters which may result in disciplinary action. Instead, notify the employee's supervisor, the Human Resources Department, or the superintendent. And with that, I'd like to bring up our first speaker, public speaker, Diane Lavati. Oh, awesome, great. Come on down.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here tonight. I'm a parent. My husband is here as well. We're parents to a freshman at Santa Fe High. And we wanted to talk a little bit about, we wanted to make sure all the board were aware of something that affected our student on October 29th during the lockdown that occurred at Santa Fe High. So this is a safety comment. I want to make sure also to acknowledge that the superintendent, the head of security, the principal, and the dean have all been incredibly responsive to us, but we wanted to make sure we brought it to the board as well so that all stakeholders were aware of what took place and what's happening. So on the 29th, there was a lockdown. Our student and another student were between classes and outside of the buildings. They were locked out, and they had no way to make their presence known. So what became aware to us is that there was just a gap in the protocol for what students are supposed to do when they're not in the right place during a lockdown. And our kids didn't know what they were supposed to do. And if it had been a true threat, they were very, very vulnerable. So we've had long discussions with the school, with the superintendent, amongst parents, and the school met with us right away. And it looks to us as though the decision has been made that district-wide, the 911 system will be utilized going forward for students if they find themselves in an unsafe situation during a lockdown. We want to make sure that teachers, parents, students, staff are all trained on that if indeed this is the new addition to the protocol. That hasn't happened yet, so we just want to not have that be lost, and we wanted to make sure that the board was aware that there's this sort of gap in what are students supposed to do if they find themselves outside, locked out of buildings when they're supposed to be locked in classrooms. So that's really why we're here, and that's all I had to say. I do also want to say thank you to Principal Chavez, to Dr. Griffin, to Robert, head of security, to the dean of students at Santa Fe High. No one blew us off. Everyone took this incredibly seriously, and our student is fine. She was shaken, but she's fine, in large part because everyone's been responsive to the situation. So school safety is an ongoing discussion. This is a very small slice of it, but we wanted it brought to your attention as well. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Allison Fabra. Sorry about that, Fabra. No, I saw the W there.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Allison Fabara. I am a parent at Chaparral Elementary. I sent an email, but I think I missed the deadline, so I'm going to just read it. And I just wanted to share some great things happening at Chaparral and how grateful I am for the school and its staff. My son attends Chaparral. He's been there since kindergarten, and he's now in 3rd grade. I just want to say that all of our experiences with the staff from the very beginning have been positive, warm, to the point that every time we walk in the building now, we feel like it's family, and we just have this really kind of loving, caring environment. There's genuine concern and care for all the students and their families, which shows up in all sorts of ways. Yesterday, there was not one but 2 opportunities for families to engage with the school. First, a Thanksgiving lunch, which was wonderful, and then again, a family game night in the evening. My husband joked that he was there 4 times yesterday, but it was really just great, I think, for us to have an opportunity to be there together, build community with other families, and create an environment where everyone knows that they are welcome and we care about each other. I also just want to shout out to all the staff and to Erica Maestas, principal, awesome principal, who just walked in, and just going the extra mile to provide these opportunities. And it just means a lot to us. And we understand they often work long hours to make sure that that happens, but they always have a really positive attitude, and we just really appreciate that. I also just finally want to thank principal and all the staff at Chaparral for providing opportunities for our students to provide input on things that affect them at school. Recently, they asked students to provide input on the kinds of improvements they'd like to see in their playground, like new equipment, maybe soccer fields. And I just think it's important, regardless of what happens, that they are included and that they are made to understand that their voices matter in things that affect their lives. So I just want to say extra shout out to the staff and teachers at Chaparral for going the extra mile. Thank you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Let me get the clock off here real quick. Okay. This is from Nicholas. To whom it may concern, President of the School Board, members of the School Board, Superintendent Christine Griffin, and NEA President Alana Cartier, who I do not have an email for. As you know, federal funding has been cut for this school year. For over 2 years, I have made more than enough phone calls to the office of the NEA Santa Fe. Every time I've called, I have been told because of staff shortage, it has been difficult to organize a rally at the roundhouse of the governor, as well as the legislator during a legislative session. Even though the superintendent and school administrators are not in the National Educators Association, NEA, they get an increase of pay, whether they show up or not. When was the last time? Any superintendent, school administrator, plus all of the school board help, the NEA organize a rally, willing to volunteer their time, purchase more than enough bullhorns, get a positive result. Also, when it comes to hiring a new school employee, why is it kept hush-hush on obtaining the participation of the benefit of the 403B plan and the 457B plan? Regarding pay increase, the cooks at Panda Express are getting paid $21 an hour. When was the last time a custodian, teacher, assistant, or cafeteria worker received that type of pay wage? How to get the money to pay the kind of wage? Rally at the roundhouse during the legislative session. Does superintendent notice? Does the superintendent care? Does school board notice? Does the school board care? Best regards, Nicholas. And that concludes public forum.
Thank you. Our next item is a union update.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alana Cartier. I'm NEA Santa Fe President. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Griffin, President Abeta, Vice President Noble, and members of the board. So the first update I want to provide is we do have a new board member. We've had a vacancy. Our Vice President of Collective Bargaining took a different position with the charter school. So we've had that vacancy all school year so far. So we have just placed Stella Gonzalez, who ironically works at Gonzalez, in that position. So she has just started. The next thing I want to discuss is we've got a couple of trainings that we're going to be providing for some of our members. One is an AR training, so that's like a building rep training, so that they're better able to assist our other members. We've also got a collective bargaining training coming up in December, and we're working towards our lobby day, which is January 30th, where we all go and speak with different members of the legislature to try to get raises and enact change for employees. Some of the other changes we've been working on is we are working towards digitizing all of our forms and trying to have them in a central location for our members to access. So we're also working with NEA New Mexico to create a new website. So that is just some of the things that we're working on. We're also planning a happy hour. I believe we have it scheduled for December 12th. So for those of you that weren't able to make it to the last one, which was really fun, I would like to just extend an invitation to everybody, location to be determined. And that is all of the update that I have right now. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, our next item is our student board announcements and follow-up. Which student board member would like to go first?
Thank you, Dr. Abeda, thank you, Dr. Griffin and President Abeda. Santa Fe High has several announcements. NJROTC hosted its annual Veterans Day appreciation in our new NJROTC building. The event featured a continual breakfast prepared by a wonderful culinary department, a cadet-led ceremony beginning at 7:45 a.m., and included a musical performance by our amazing Santa Fe High School band. Santa Fe High School's volleyball team is off to the state playoffs. The Santa Fe High School family sends them off as they were escorted out by our Santa Fe Police Department. Santa Fe High's orchestra represented our school proudly at the Regional Honors Orchestra. We had 18 total students in this ensemble, more than any other high school that participated. They did a fabulous job and had a great concert that evening. NJROTC cadets demonstrated exceptional dedication, working long hours and maintaining a rigorous schedule despite having a smaller unit and only one instructor. Their commitment paid off at the Duke City Drill Meet, where they earned numerous top individual and team awards, including first place 5A overall sweepstakes, highlighting their great skill, teamwork, and grit. Santa Fe High School staff and students were recognized for their hard work. The Duncan Cruiser visited our campus to provide staff and students non-caffeinated beverages, samples from their sampling vehicle, lawn games, music, and a $5 promo cards for all who attended. Our Santa Fe High School theater team was selected to participate in the 2025-2026 Broadway for Teens program at Pope Joy Hall on Thursday, December 11th for the performance of MJ the Musical. We also were asked to provide monthly updates for the board on various topics over the year. The first topic of this year was belonging and inclusivity. We sent out a survey, and for Santa Fe High, our overall patterns were students really enjoyed teachers who cared and friends that made school more enjoyable. A lot of students, especially underclassmen, 9th to 10th grade, were feeling overlooked or disconnected from school spirit, especially in the larger campus environment. 11th and 12th graders felt really connected to their individual communities and were more disengaged with the campus at large. For female students, the greatest problem was bias by teachers, stating that some teachers treated the boys differently, and that people commented how they dressed. For male students, they were really engaged with sports and felt driven when their teachers or coach pushed them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beta. At Early College Opportunities, Lionel came to ECO to interview 3 students for a scholarship on November 12th. ECO is doing a big push to remind students about shop safety, and we have pushed out messaging about appropriate safe attire with CTE classes. 9th grade students went to a wildlife center on Thursday, November 11th, and at Mandela on Monday, November 10th, their seniors had a full day of extended essay writing. The extended essay had a 4,000-word research paper on a topic related to one of the students' classes is required part of the IB core. Teachers, advisors, and extended essay coordinator helped students through research and writing technique, and as as is tradition, the 11th grade students prepared a soup potluck and all juniors and seniors ate lunch. Tonight, November 13th, Mandela is hosting a lottery open house for prospective families entering grades 7th to 11th. Application is on the SFPS Transfer Lottery website. Mandela's annual craft fair, organized and run by Student Council, will be Saturday, December 6th. This is an excellent opportunity to do some holiday shopping while supporting our local artisans.
Great, thank you.
Capital students, for our inclusivity survey that we've sent out during the week, Capital students describe their students as their school as friendly, family-like, and welcoming, especially because of their supportive teachers. However, students also noted uneven discipline and inconsistent recognition across classrooms. And by ninth graders, still free. Oh, huh? I'm so sorry. Their theme was belonging, growing with time, involvement, especially through teacher relationships and extracurricular participation. And female, non-binary students. Students want a consistent sense of safety and respect regardless of gender.
Thank you, President Abeyta, Superintendent Dr. Griffin, and all members of the board. For Capitol High School, we have a couple of exciting announcements. The football team qualified for state playoffs, and we're excited to cheer them on as they compete at the next level. The volleyball team is also making history by winning 3 matches and securing 3 district victories for their first time since moving up to 5A. Let's see here. Both the volleyball team and football team's determination and grit earned them a well-deserved spots. One of our 9th graders, Lindsay Carveo, won a spot in the All-State Orchestra and was awarded the role of concertmaster, which is the highest role there. Our medical pathway was also featured in KOAT 7 on November 5th, which was very exciting. And 3 10th graders and 1 11th grader, Larissa Booth, Angel Roskin Campos, Ellen Villescas, and Kenneth Rodriguez were accepted into the 2026 All-State Guitar Ensemble, which was very exciting. As for the forum, our underclassmen also say that they feel that they need more school spirit to, get them going up and running. Let's see. As well as some pros, obviously teachers and friends kept them feeling like they were included, and quote, teachers who are passionate to be there was the most stated thing. Let's see, yeah. Most girls said that they obviously participated in AP classes, clubs, and things of that sort. Guys were actually the ones that said they didn't feel included as much, so my question is, how can we feel males more included? And that's it for us.
Great, thank you. Okay, so that concludes our student board announcements. What about board member announcements? Anything from members of the board? We'll start with board member Heffron.
I just wanted to make a comment because I happened to be at Christus Hospital this past week. 3 out of 4 of the women who helped me at Christus had gone to Capitol High School and been part of, guess what? The medical pathway program in its early beginnings. So I wanted to just to let you know the word is out, and everywhere I go I ask, did you go to Capitol? So anyway, congratulations to that program, and keep it going, please. Thank you.
Board member Bozay.
Thank you, President Abeyta, Dr. Griffin, board members. I have a couple announcements. I first wanted to say thank you to all of the voters of Santa Fe for approving our GO bond and our mill levy. And I also want to send a special thank you to all of the candidates who ran during this election. It was great to see so many people show up to come run for the school board. And Our new board member-elect is in the audience. Welcome, Juan, Lynn. It's been an honor to serve with you.
Thank you. I'll be here
Thank
one
you.
more meeting.
I know. Thank you for sitting next to me for the last year. It's been great. I attended the ribbon cutting for the transportation department on Monday morning. That's a beautiful, beautiful facility for all of the professionals that work at that department. We got to see the 10 electric school buses, and part of that infrastructure that happened during that build included some rapid chargers for the electric school buses. And we had a pleasant surprise of a $317,000 check from P&M for our efforts on mass transit electrification. So kudos to the district staff for all of that work, and again, the bond for funding that beautiful project. I'm hoping that the board members can see the survey results from that really cool survey that you guys did. I'm excited to have you participating with the board in that way this year. Thank you for that effort, and I look forward to digging in a little bit deeper. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank my fellow Santa Fe High parents for being here tonight to talk about their experience. I have 2 kids that go to Santa Fe High, and it's been rough. So I want to say thank you again to Dr. Griffin for her empathy and her compassion and following that up with action, because I have really high confidence in the security measures that we have in place, but that doesn't mean that there's not room for continuous improvement and ongoing training and retraining for new staff and new students in new environments, and also for substitutes, as we talked about in the past. I've spent a good amount of time in the last few weeks kind of regrounding myself in the evidence-based research around things that reduce gun violence in our schools. I highly recommend Everytown for Gun Safety as a place if people want to go and read more about that. Our state has done an incredible job at the legislative level passing a lot of the laws that reduce gun violence in our schools. And I know that they will continue to work on that. So, you know, the tool that we have is around policy, but also around building cultures of belonging and connection. So that was part of why I was excited to see that included. And, you know, it takes a village, and it takes all of us doing what we can to make our schools safe for our students and meeting their mental health needs and making our communities safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Gonzalez.
President Abeta, Superintendent Dr. Griffin, I too went to the opening of the transportation building, and it is impressive. I feel very fortunate that all the bus drivers are going to have a really nice place to be. They have a workout room. They've got a meeting room. They've got all kinds of really nice places. And apparently they had like 2 trailers stuck together. That's where they were before. So it's a really nice change for them.
Okay, Vice President Noble, did you have anything under board announcements?
I do not. Thank you, President Abeta.
Okay, neither do I, so we will go on to superintendent announcements and follow-up.
Thank you, President Abeta, board members. Yesterday, I was at Milagro, and I was able to serve lunch to all of the 7th and 8th grade students, and we had a wonderful showing of parents who came actually for middle school lunch, so that was really nice, and the students were so polite. Middle school, they still said thank you. I was very impressed. Also, with the ribbon cutting at the Transportation Department, P&M presented the $317,000 check, so that was great. It was off of a $1 million rebate. And since you guys covered just about everything, I just want to say a big thank you to our residents of Santa Fe for your overwhelming support in our recent bond initiatives. Your continued commitment ensures public education remains strong in our community, and just thank you.
Okay, so our next item is a presentation on the 2025 New Mexico Vistas overview.
Good evening, President Abeta, Superintendent Griffin, members of the board. I am going to give tonight a very brief, high-level overview of the Vistas information that was released yesterday at noon. So this is about as hot off the press as we can get as we talk about accountability data. And again, this is a very high-level overview, but we are open to any and all questions. I wanted to start by giving a little bit of an overview of our longitudinal data. So these are our overall proficiencies in language arts, math, and science over the last 4 years. As you can see, we've had some very steady and continuing growth in language arts over time. Our math data has remained stable. And our science data looks like it's had a little bit of an up and down, but I want to qualify that with a couple of things. The first is that science data, or science, is tested in far fewer grades annually than language arts and math. So language arts and math is tested in grades 3 through 8 and 11. And science is tested in grades 5, 8, and 11. So there are far fewer students who participate annually in science data. In 23-24, the state of New Mexico contracted with a new vendor for our science assessment, and the state saw an overall increase in proficiency that year. And this year, they have seen what we believe is sort of an overall reset. And so our data follows the state data almost exactly in terms of the up and down associated with that growth and reset. So while it does look like there were some significant changes, the reality is there really have not been. New Mexico Vistas is the name for our federally mandated school accountability rating system, and it's published annually about mid-November. I believe it's technically due on the 15th, so they were a little bit early this year. ESSA requires states to publish these annual reports, and the guiding principle behind these reports is to meaningfully differentiate schools. That's the official language. All states submit a plan to the U.S. Department of Education for approval on how they intend to do this, and it varies a little bit from state to state in how the ratings actually manifest. Some states do sort of an A to F rating system. New Mexico does not. We rate our schools on a 100-point system, and so when you look at the Vistas pages, you will see a speed dial with the school total points. And it is the method by which PED determines whether or not schools are exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, or are in need of support. And every report is available on newmexicovistas.org at this point. So here are the main components that are incorporated in that overall rating. So the two largest buckets of points are around academic achievement and academic growth in language arts, math, and science. Academic growth focuses on language arts and math for schools, elementary and middle schools. High schools do not have an academic growth component because they only test in grade 11. The next large component is English language learner progress. The state looks at our EL students and whether or not they are making adequate annual progress towards English language proficiency. They look at regular attendance, which is not average daily attendance, and it is not chronic absenteeism, but the best way to think about it is it's the opposite of chronic absenteeism. If a school has a chronic absenteeism rate of 10%, their regular attendance rate will be 90%, is a way to think about it. They look at the 4-, 5-, and 6-year graduation rates of every high school, and they look at graduation growth. So is the school improving its graduation rate over time? And then they also look at college and career readiness. So those are our main components for Vistas. So each of these components has separate point calculations, and
Many of these point calculations actually involve some fairly complex data transformations. It is not as simple as the number of students who sit and take the test and the percent of students who pass the test. They actually do some fairly complex data. Again, academic achievement and growth make up the most points for every school, and schools that end up in designation in need of improvement can exit that designation by either improving their student achievement and/or graduation rates. So here are the various school designations that the Public Education Department uses. There are spotlight schools. These are the top 25%. So spotlight schools are those schools that are in that top band across the state. There are traditional schools. These are schools that the Public Education Department considers to be in good standing. They meet expectations. Then there are 4 levels of schools in need of improvement. There is Targeted Support and Improvement Schools, otherwise known as TSI. These are identified annually, and they are schools with consistently underperforming student groups, 1 or more. Every 3 years, the Public Education Department applies the next 3 designations: Additional Targeted School and Support, ATSI; Comprehensive School and Improvement, schools scoring in the bottom 5% of Title I schools, or schools that have a graduation rate of less than 67%, and that's the 4-year graduation rate, and that is averaged over 3 years. If schools fail to exit Comprehensive School and Improvement, those schools can then be designated as in need of more rigorous intervention, and those are identified after 3 years of failing to exit Comprehensive School and Improvement status. So where are we? We have 7 spotlight schools. We have 19 schools that are identified as traditional and 2 that entered targeted support and improvement this year. Here are our spotlight schools. These spotlight schools are schools that have also been identified as spotlight schools in previous years, and they have maintained. All of them were able to maintain their spotlight school status this year. Here are our traditional schools. Desert Sage, in spite of the board voting for its closure, because this is based on the 24-25 school year data, there is a legacy Vistas page for Desert Sage this year. And our 2 schools that have been identified for targeted support and improvement are Cesar Chavez Elementary and El Camino Real. These schools have been identified because they had 1 or more consistently underperforming subgroups, and we will be working with those schools in depth. These calculations that comprise these are extraordinarily complicated. We did not feel it was appropriate to get into the weeds on those calculations tonight, but I would be more than happy if the board desires to have a study session where we could really kind of roll up our sleeves and get into the details. I would be happy to do that at your discretion. And with that, I will stand for questions.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the board? Vice President Noble, did you have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, and I guess I'll just turn it over to the superintendent for any last words or direction.
Our team has worked really hard, and they have a solid plan to help with those two schools in designation, and I really think that we'll be able to bring them up very quickly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next item on our agenda are action items, and the first is our consent items. We have 5 items under the consent calendar. Are there any of the 5 that need to be pulled, or questions or clarifications? Can I have a motion regarding the consent items?
I move that we approve the consent items.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Great, motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Resolution 2025-2026-8, Community Review Committee Educator Housing Subcommittee. As the board knows, affordable housing is an issue not only that impacts our community, but it specifically has a direct impact to our educators and our school system, our district. This is something that the school board has identified as a priority over the years. We most recently have received capital outlay funding that will go towards helping us identify properties and affordable housing development for the district. And again, with the bond that just passed, we were very clear that we wanted to set aside some of that funding for our affordable housing initiatives. And so this resolution is being brought forward for the board to consider. We have an existing CRC committee that's in place. While their focus is generally on our facilities, our buildings, our school buildings, since again, it's already in place, I would like the board to consider adopting a resolution that creates a task force that would be overseen by the CRC to start working directly on our affordable housing initiatives. The resolution has several whereases, but I'll just get to to therefore it be resolved. The Public School Board of Education hereby establishes an educator housing task force to develop concrete and timely recommendations for addressing the educator housing crisis in Santa Fe County. Be it further resolved, the educator housing task force shall include CRC members and one representative from NEA Santa Fe, with the option to invite participation from key community partners as appropriate, and no more than 2 members of the Santa Fe Public School Board of Education. Operate under the guidance of the CRC with recommendations to be vetted by the CRC prior to presentation to the Board of Education. Build upon existing needs assessments and data collected in prior years. Update items as needed to reflect current conditions and avoid duplication of effort. Develop specific actionable recommendations and strategy within 3 to 6 months, outlining how available state legislative funding, capital outlay, bond, and other resources can be used to support educator housing, and to identify best practices and potential partnerships for educator housing projects locally and statewide. Be it further resolved, the Santa Fe Public School Board of Education reaffirms its commitment to ensuring that educators can live and thrive in Santa Fe, recognizing that housing stability for educators directly strengthens the stability and success of Santa Fe Public Schools. This resolution was brought forward by myself and Vice President Noble. Vice President Noble, did you want to comment on the resolution?
Yes, thank you very much, President Abeta, and I appreciate your summary and reading of the therefore be it resolved. I also want to encourage my fellow board members to adopt this resolution. We have seen a few iterations working on educator housing at the school board in the past, and it remains an incredibly important issue for our staff, for our community. We need to be able to have people that work in our schools be able to live in this community. And this, I believe, is a good balance of a step in that direction. I do believe we need to maintain balance and understand that we are the school district, that our primary purpose is to enable teaching and learning, that hopefully we can find some partnerships with the other governments, city, county, even our state government, whose purview is more directly over housing. But this crisis has basically accelerated during my time on the board, and I do believe that with some of the resources and assets that President Abeta outlined, that we can make a difference. It's my hope that this task force can be very strategic and targeted in terms of where the Santa Fe Public Schools can make a difference and what we can do to find that balance and we need not to become a housing agency. We need to remain focused on the salient issue of educator housing and being able to support our workforce. And some of that is reflected in the therefore be it resolved language there in terms of staying nimble, getting us to hopefully a strategy that really makes sense for the Santa Fe Public Schools. But again, I think we all have friends and family members and people that we relate to regularly who've been affected by this housing crisis. We've acknowledged this before, as is outlined in the whereases, and I do think this is a good strategy, and with the partnership of our legislature, the community, and the bond funding that was approved, and other expertise, because housing is incredibly complicated, I believe that we can make some good, focused progress for the Santa Fe Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the board? Can I have a motion? Oh, sorry, board member.
Sorry, I have a question. Yeah, thank you. Also, Vice President Noble. My question would be, members would include, for instance, key community partners possibly. Would that include the Santa Fe Foundation at PI as we know it? Is that a possibility?
Yes, that
Okay.
is.
I just want to know, because I know they've addressed that issue previously as well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I move approval of the Community Review Committee Educator Housing Subcommittee.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item C is our resolution 2025-2026-9, retirement and disposal of technology equipment. Superintendent Griffin.
Go ahead and go up there.
You want to go to the mic?
Mr. Romero, thank you.
President Abeyta, board members, Superintendent Griffin. There is a cycle of technology that comes into the district. It has to be cycled out because it becomes obsolete. In a lot of cases, it's too old to get security updates on the devices, which exposes our district to malware and other unfortunate intrusions into the system. So that's why we have to cycle the devices out occasionally, and that's what this resolution is for, to allow us to move forward with that. Are there any questions?
Questions from the board? Can I have a motion?
Move to approve Resolution 2025/2026-9, retirement and disposal of technology equipment.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, our next item is board discussion and possible action. Any items under board discussion and possible action? Okay, hearing none. Advanced planning. There is a Partners in Education meeting on November 18th at 12 p.m. CRC will meet at 6 p.m. on the 19th. The 20th, we do have on here tentative study session, finance subcommittee, but Dr. Griffin, is that going to be necessary?
President Abeyta, and board members, I don't believe that's necessary at this time. Thank you.
Okay, and then another CRC meeting on December 3rd?
President Abeyta, having seen the draft of the agenda, I don't think that we will be having a CRC meeting on the 3rd, and I do want to note that the meeting next week is at Ortiz, with a hybrid option available for members who can't attend in person.
Great, thank you for that clarification. And then our next board meeting then will be November 11th, with a tentative executive session at 4:30.
December.
December, did I say? Okay, December, sorry. Okay, is there anything else regarding advanced planning? No? Then with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, Vice President Noble. Have a good evening.